professional. Of course, y'all know that from my videos. And I lost what I had, so I'm doing it over. So here we go. I'm trying to get to 750. I'm trying to change the content for you guys. I know you like Twosuns. So I'm going to do a series of Twosun videos showing the Twosuns I have and different models, different makers. You know, I might do all Longden's Inn designs, all Night Morning designs, all Maz 1 Mukhtar designs, and then the ones in between. There's a lot of popular knife designers that do collaborations with Twosun, and that's what makes them so good. And they're always coming out with a new knife, so it's hard to keep up. There's a lot that I don't have, a lot that I want. There's a lot I'm not going to get. But with that being said, these are front flippers, all front flippers. We have, I'm going to try to be doing in order. We have the 07, the 33, the 54, the 74, the 108, the 121, the 129, the 136, the 137, the 139, the 140, the 180, the 198, the 199, the 229, the 243, 262, 263, 267, and 268. So let's do half and half. I'm going to take these and set them aside. There's 4 and 8 and 10. Give y'all a teaser that those are coming. Now, the first in this series of front flippers that I have is a smaller knife, the 07. Nice titanium frame lock. Has two features that I like in Twosuns. It has the hidden screw pocket clip and a lanyard option. It has some nice milling done here for the back spacer and some geometrical grooving on the frame there. This is an interior bolster pin lock. When I pulled this knife out of the box the other day out of my storage, I noticed that it had some detent lash. You could take it right here and wiggle the blade up and down. Y'all are seeing a nasty cut I got earlier tonight getting these knives ready. I'll tell you about that in the next video maybe if I remember to. But anyway, it had some detent lash, and I took the knife apart, and upon inspecting the hole in the blade, the chamfer was real heavy on one side and almost non-existent on the other, and it caused it to have that problem where the detent ball was not seating correctly. So I took the knife apart and took a carbide burr and a high-speed air grinder that I have at work and modified that out and fixed it. And now the action on this is really nice. This is a night morning design in D2. Very nice blade shape. For the small blade that it has a nice long belly. There is no flipper tab to get in the way, so slicing action would be real nice on the table. Be a small little kitchen knife or camp knife. Goes in and out of pocket very well. It has not great, but it does have decent cutout recess so you can get your thumb in there to close it. Centering is good, as with all Twosuns are generally. And the detent lash is fixed. This is the Twosun TS07, one of Twosun's earlier front flippers. I really like that one. I like all my Twosuns. Next is this. I'll go ahead and tell you about it now. This is the knife that cut me tonight, getting it out of my pack that I have them in, the Twosun TS33. And one of the reasons it cut me is something that Twosun does really well. They do blade to handle ratio. Now you notice the blade tip there, as I push it out, it goes all the way to the tip. And I had this knife in the case this way, and I stuck my hand into the package, and when I did, I caught the tip of that blade with my finger right there, and it caught me. It caught me good, and that's what cut me. On this particular knife, there was a couple variants available. I believe they had one variant where the back scale was just flat, and it had the old ugly Twosun pocket clip that everybody knows about and despises. Then they did an update, and they did the milled frame on the back side as the front, and they blended the pocket clip to match. Very nice design. Action is nice. It's not crisp. It's sort of quiet, but it works well. This is a nice American style chisel grind Tonto. Now it is ground on both sides, so it's not a true chisel, but it's a flat grind, very Tonto-like in its shape and function. The swedge on top. This is sort of a bigger boy. It's also a flat. There is no thumb flipper tab to get in the way. It does have a nice cutaway to access the lock bar with your thumb. Action is nice. Centering is a little bit to the left on this one. Works well in and out of pocket. And that's the Twosun TS33. And this is a night morning design in M390. The Twosun TS54. Now this is an odd one. This is a rare one. This is one that you don't see a whole lot, especially as of late. I acquired this off of a seller on eBay, and I hadn't seen it before, and I thought it was really nice. It had these slots in it that are running vertically and almost, or horizontally and vertically. A nice shape, a lot like the TS, I think it's the 25. And it also has milling on the spine of the knife. It has a nice symmetrical style slots in the pocket clip that blends together, and the same slots on the far side. Centering is nice. This is another pin stop internal, and it has a flipper tab and a front flipper tab, and the flipper tab works nice. It's got a weak detent. I had to weaken the detent up a little bit to get it to front flip, and I'm trying to get a happy medium with it, and I cannot. You have to make sure your finger is out of the way. Because I cut my finger, I'm not be able to get it. This is another American Tonto. It's odd to flip. The action, the location and the ramp of where the front pivot is in relation to the pivot pin. The front flipper tab in relation to the pivot pin is not precise, and it does not open very well as a front flipper. This is a night morning design done in D2, and this is a TS54. Next is a very nice knife. This is their budget series they had for a while, where they were coming out with a lot of G10 models. This is the TS74. Now this knife can be opened in a myriad of different ways. It can be, not on camera because I won't get it right, but it can be spidey flicked by taking your finger and putting in that little groove, and that can work for right or lefties. Now most of the Twosons are right carry only, righties only, this pocket clip, but it is friendly for a lefty to open because it doesn't matter how you hold it, you can open it. There is no lock bar, it's a liner lock. The flipping action on this is really nice. It's got this sort of a curved hawkbill style blade, flat grind. And this is a night morning design in D2 and G10. Titanium pocket clip, stainless steel liners with a nice cutaway to get to that liner lock. So it can be front flipped, rear flipped, and spidey flicked. with a little bit of wrist. The Twosun TS74. Nice long blade. The blade on this one, you got about 3.5 of cutting length. I haven't been giving. I get, guys, I don't have a written procedure, and sometimes as I go from topic to topic, and a lot of times I do so many knives, I forget to do, you know, like a blade length or a weight, which we're not doing. These are not reviews. These are just show and tells I'm doing of the front flippers that I have. The TS108. This is one that was available in 2 variations, I believe. One was called the Pain, P-A-I-N, and one was called the Garuda. And I believe the 2 differences were, one has the speed holes, and one was just flat on both sides like this back is. My Band-Aid's coming loose. You can see that this titanium has gotten the natural patina on it, because I carried, when I first got this one, I carried it quite a bit. It has a nice back spacer, full length titanium, and it can be opened a couple ways with spidey flicking it with your finger, which I'm not good at spidey flicking tonight. My finger is really hurting. But it's got a front flipper that works well. This is a Sebastian Irawan design. If we can read that in there. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that name right. It has a nice usable front finger twirl and a blade length of about a little less than 3 inches. Centering is nice. Nice odd pocket clip, but works pretty well in and out of pocket. And the cutting length on this one, we're looking at about 3 inches of cutting length. I keep taking it off screen when I'm measuring cutting length, but that's because I don't have a scale right here in front of the camera. Next is the Twosun TS121. Now this one here was one of my favorite knives. You can see that it's got some patina on it where it's been carried. This can be opened in an Emerson style pull from the pocket with that there, a flipper, or a front flip. So 3 ways of opening. Nice fuller grooves in the clip that match the frame, fuller groove on the front, micro milling bevels on the contoured scales, fuller groove on the blade, and nice jimping on the spine to get a grip. This is a Wong Denzhen design, and it is in D2. Action is nice. Blade centering is great. Blade to handle ratio is also nice. As with almost all Twosuns that I have noticed that's something they get very well. They use all of the available space. Now this is the Twosun TS129. This is one of my favorite Twosuns, not in just front flippers, but in Twosuns altogether. I just love the feel of this in pocket. It's just so smooth. Ergonomically, it fits my medium-sized hands perfectly. It has a lanyard option. It has the hidden screw pocket clip, which is a big plus for me. For some reason, I like that. I don't know why I'm funny that way, I guess. It's just cool, a design that's nice. The only thing I think this knife could be better is if it had the internal lock bar relief. It would really clean the aesthetics of this knife up. It has nice micro milling contours, nice grooving, even 3D contoured milling, micro milling on the pocket clip or on the perimeter of it. Very nice. And the action on this is just sick. I mean, did you hear that? That thwack? It's got a sound that is undeniably open. It's like I'm going to wear it out. It's rolling on a stop pin, internal stop pins in a channel that is just awesome. Nice, almost hawkbill shape with a little bit of downward ramp. It looks like a bird's beak. The good name for this one would have been the Hawk. I can't remember what the name of this one is. I think it has a name. This is a night morning design in M390. And the blade to handle ratio also is using every bit of the handle. But when closed, you can't cut yourself on this one. Centering is right down the center. Great, great knife. One of my favorites, if not, it's definitely in the top 10 TUCSONs. TS 136. Now, while I wanted to really like this one, it's not one of my carries. I've only carried it a few times. I like the aesthetics of this. It's very symmetrical, looks very nice, great design knife. It's just it's not me, even though it has a lot of the features that I love. It's got the hidden screw pocket clip, it's got the interior relief on the lock bar, it's symmetrical, it's a front flipper, it's got internal stop pins, it's a little thick in the frame, but it's the action on this, it's like the pivot is just not right for me. Somebody else might work this knife great. It's a beautiful knife, it's a beautiful user. It's the Japanese style Tanto with this round curved front end, flat grind. It has a very nice upward thumb ramp and a finger choil machined into the frame. So you get a very nice purchase on this knife. You know, if I carried this knife more, I would probably like it more. It is a very nice knife. It has no cutout relief, so that's the only really drawback I can say on this knife, but you really don't need it. It closes well and easy. Harden insert. Lockup is a good 30%. And this is a Mazwan Mokhtar, and this is in D2. Next is the TUCSON TS 137. Now this is one that I modded. This is another one of Mazwan Mokhtar's designs. And it had also the hole like the 74, or the 74 had just a cutout. This one had a hole through it to where you could stick your finger in there and spidey flick it out. I wanted to give this one more of a cleaver look. And I was thinking about actually making this into a sheep's foot and rounding that off too. Still might do that. Love the contoured milled carbon fiber scales, almost Ray Laconico looking with the milling that's done there. Nice, again, hidden screw pocket clip, very nice feature. It has micro milling on the scales, nice pivot surround. I think a nice option to do for this knife would be make a titanium surround and color it. That would look really good, or a Damascus. That would be super awesome to do on both sides. I think I've seen one of those somewhere. Action is great. Feels good in hand. It's on the smaller side of the knife. It's a nice utilitarian cutting knife. You got plenty of edge to cut with no flipper tab getting in the way. And cutting edge, we're looking at about 2 3/4 of cutting length. The Stargazer is this one, and this is in D2, Mazwan Mokhtar, the 137. All right, one more and we'll call this video done because we're at 19 minutes. 20 minutes for 10 knives, 10 minutes apiece, 2 minutes apiece. I think I did good. This is the 139. This is another one of Mazwan Mokhtar designs, but all of his markings are on the interior of the frame, because I think it's in his collaborations with TUCSON, I think it's something he preferred was to make the blade cleaner, is to start putting the maker marks on the interior of the frame, which is pretty cool. Very nice feature. I like that of his. This can be used to open up a couple different ways. It can be opened up with the thumb disc, which works really good, and the front flipper. Placement on that front flipper is perfect. It opens up. This is almost a sheep's foot style blade, an angular sheep's foot. Nice flat grind, thin behind the edge, nice and crisp and sharp. This one is in S90V. You can see that there is no markings on the blade of the maker. I won't be able to show it on camera, but his markings are on the inside. Can't remember exactly where they're placed. This is done with a enclosed frame, two clamshells, so it looks like an integral. It has a nice built-in lanyard option, which is nice, and hidden screw pocket clip. And this is one that they did the interior milling on, and it really cleans up the aesthetics of the outside of the knife. It's very symmetrical, very clean looking. There is no relief for the lock bar, but you really don't need it. It has nice jimping for your finger here and your finger here to really get a good purchase on this knife when you're using it. Very nice design. This is definitely part of my permanent collection. The TS-139 by Mazwan Mokhtar. Blade centering is right down the center. Blade to handle ratio, again, is great. Using up almost 98% of the frame. And that is the first one, the part one of Twosun front flippers. I hope y'all enjoyed watching this video. Stay tuned for the next video in this series, part 2, where we will show 140, 180, 198, 199, 229, 243, 262, 263, 267, and 268. And I hope you enjoyed this. Please remember, if you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. If you like Twosun content, if you like modern knife content, hit that subscribe button. Hit those notification bells. Stay tuned. I'm trying to give y'all good content, and I'm trying to change it up a little bit, because I know it gets tiring and boring watching the same old thing every day. So, and there's tons of channels for y'all to watch on knives. So thank you for choosing my channel to watch tonight. Y'all have a great night. Remember, Jesus is the real thing. God bless America. God bless you. I love you guys. Y'all have a great night. This is Rodney with Naftastic EDC. Bye now.